I ended up my senior year weighing the most I ever have in my whole life. Hey everyone, today I am going to be talking about the challenge that I am doing for the new year and why I'm doing it. And also I'm going to be talking about my past experience doing this challenge 2 times before. So to get started, what is the challenge? It is the Phorm Transformation Challenge. They are doing a New Year's sprint, and it is 8 weeks with one-on-one coaching in a Facebook group. You get to be put in a Facebook group with the creators of Phorm and just all of the top management. They do live videos. There's a lot of interpersonal talking and everything. You can ask questions. It's very hands-on. But the best thing about this is, well, one, it's free. So obviously you're not going out and spending like $300 on doing some sort of challenge. And then also you get a workout program for all 8 weeks, and it actually changes halfway through. Then you also get a meal plan based off of your daily life and your activity. And then on top of that, if it wasn't enough that you get free one-on-one coaching, they also teach you everything about supplement use, exercises, the proper way to eat, all that stuff to just really make sure that you have a great knowledge base in order to be reaching your goals. So this challenge is for everyone. It's not just for people who are already fit. It is for people looking to lose 200 pounds, looking to gain like 10 to 20 pounds, whatever they want. Personally, I'm doing this challenge to gain muscle, and the reason that I am on the 3rd challenge of theirs, I started with their, I think, fall challenge and then did the winter one, or maybe it was summer, I forget. Anyway, I have done 2 challenges previously before with Taylor and Steve Dilk. That's Steve Dilk and Tay Che with 2 Y's on Instagram, and she also has her own YouTube channel. And it was really great, awesome to be, in their Facebook group. I wasn't as active as I'd like to be because I've been figuring some stuff out. I'll talk a little bit more about that later. But basically just all of the guidance, the workout programs, it's exactly what I needed to kind of get back into things after graduating, and really just kind of get back into the gym and refine that passion. So then, now I'm on my 3rd challenge. I am in probably some of the best shape I've ever been in my life, and I've been an athlete before and everything, and it's just been wonderful. I mean, the challenge I'm doing this time is actually with Laura Jelaine, actually known as Laura Novotny, but her Insta handle is Laura Jelaine, and she is an absolutely wonderful coach. I've been already in the group now for 2 weeks, because you can start this one 2 weeks early. Monday the 21st is the last day to join, so if you're watching this before Monday, feel free to go over to firstphorm.com, go to their Transform tab, and sign up. There's literally nothing to lose by doing it. But Laura's Facebook group has been awesome already. She's given people vegan and vegetarian nutrition plans, and it's just been great so far. And I'm really excited now that I'm on my 3rd challenge. I feel like I'm more knowledgeable and more in a place to help other people. So I'm really excited to do that. If you're watching this, you probably, hopefully came over from my Instagram and noticed that I have an Instagram dedicated to helping people with chronic illness, figuring out that they can also be in control of their body and get to the gym and have the body that they want, because so many times people with chronic illness just take the L on things and they don't have the kind of figure that they want because, you know, they're stuck in bed or they're in pain or they can't do exercises all the time because it's not going to work for them. And the reason why I am so dedicated to helping people with chronic illness is because I have two myself. And I guess to, you know, back it all up, have a little story time here. In middle school, I joined cheerleading and did gymnastics and did that all up until I graduated high school. And I just remember sitting out at games because I would feel so nauseous or I would just hurt, and it was just ridiculous. You know, every time I would try and eat something, it never sat well with my stomach. And you know, finally my senior year of high school, I stopped eating red meat, and that helped a little bit, but it didn't solve nearly as many of the problems as I needed it to. So even though I was very active, very fit, I wasn't able to see as much progress as I should have been working out as much as I was because I couldn't participate fully. And I also couldn't eat enough to sustain that kind of living. So then in college, I actually did Division I rowing for my very first semester of college and a little bit into second semester. And I ended up having to drop out of that too because I couldn't stand the pain that my body was going through, putting it through such rigorous workouts on top of what I later found out was chronic illnesses. So then I transferred to a much smaller university in order to have a more hands-on and just more attention, basically. I needed a lot of attention with my education, and what that translated to was I had a lot of brain fog. I would have all of these problems, even in high school, trying to remember things and trying to have conversations with my professors, and I couldn't remember simple words, simple questions. If I didn't write it down, it wasn't getting answered. And so I transferred schools because I did terrible my freshman year of college. I did absolutely terrible. I thought, okay, maybe college isn't for me. And so then I transferred schools, got some more attention, and you know, my professors were great. And I just remember going to the emergency room multiple times and going to all these doctors, and finally when all of them just kept saying, hey, you know what, your pain probably doesn't exist, I was like, well, fuck it, I'm just crazy. And it took me so many doctor's visits. I can't even begin to explain how often I had to go to a specialist, had to go to so many different doctors because I couldn't get the help that I needed, and I knew something was wrong. I wasn't crazy. Something had to be wrong. And so finally, after going through what seemed like every birth control on the market, I finally begged one of my doctors to just cut me open, you know, go look. That's where I was at, you know. I would rather have an unnecessary surgery and find out that, sure, no, it is in my head, than to keep trying pills that would keep me in bed, keep me from doing homework, keep me from going to class, keep me from being the bubbly, outgoing person that I typically am. And so with that, I had a laparoscopy in April of 2017 and found out that I have endometriosis. And if you don't know what endometriosis is, I highly recommend you look it up because 1 in 10 women have it. It is a very, very common disease that isn't diagnosed properly. It takes about anywhere from 9 to 15 years to get diagnosed with because everyone dismisses it. And it's basically the worst period you've ever had in your life. It is stabbing pain in your abdomen, uterus, back, legs, everywhere, because endometriosis is the tissue inside of your uterus growing everywhere like weeds inside of your body. And a year later, I was still having some problems after the surgery. Not a lot, but mostly just bladder related problems. You know, I felt like an old lady. I would have 2 coffees and my bladder would be on fire. I would have to go to the bathroom and then 5 minutes later I would be like, no, I still have to pee. Like, I know I just peed, but I have to go again. And so then I went to this other doctor and she said, have you ever been tested for interstitial cystitis? And I said, no, what the fuck is that? Well, apparently 40% of women with endometriosis also have interstitial cystitis, and that is a bladder condition in which your bladder basically just gets inflamed and hates a lot of things. And so I didn't find that out until June of 2018, so that's still pretty fresh for me. I'm still trying to figure out how to come around that. But ever since getting both of those diagnoses, I don't know. Ever since getting diagnosed with both of those issues, I have felt a relief because it's not in my head and I feel more in control of my body. I'm able to look at things and say, okay, I can't eat that, I can't do this exercise because of this. Not because it's in my head, not because internally I'm just a lazy person who doesn't want to exercise. I can do these things. I just need adjustments. And so after I graduated college in July of 2018, I decided my health was the most important thing to me. I started a full-time job and moved to a new state and had nothing else to do. I did nothing else for the past 6 to 8 months besides go to work, work out, go to doctors, and volunteer, and then spend some time with my cats. That was it. That's all I've done for the past 6 months because I have been working so hard to try and figure out how I can get the body I want. You know, my senior year, I kind of just gave up. I've always been a fit person. That was because of sports, you know, and the days where I could do stuff, it was fine. But when you're on all these pills and you're depressed and you just don't want to go to the gym, that takes a toll. And so I ended up my senior year weighing the most I ever have in my whole life, and it was not even muscle, you know, it was just fat basically. And that's fine for some people, but you know, love your body, love whatever you're in, but I knew I could do better. And so I joined the Transformation Challenge once I moved states and once I started my new job. And basically, since then, I've lost all of that weight and started getting into a physique where I can gain muscle. And I want to keep going. I want to see my body progress into what I've always imagined it could be. And I'm still trying to figure it out. You know, there was a period at the very beginning of this year where I was doing allergy testing and I couldn't eat literally almost anything. I couldn't eat dairy, I couldn't eat gluten, I couldn't eat blueberries, peanut butter, apples, green beans, just this huge list of stuff that I'm apparently allergic to. And I found, you know, through eating those things, I'm not having responses, so I can eat them now, but not having protein powder, and then taking all those things out and not having the desire to eat, really just, it killed me. I didn't have a desire to eat, and so the beginning of this year was even a struggle, even as I've been doing this challenge. And you know, fitness, we always expect to get to the end goal so fast. No one ever wants to wait for results. But I think what people don't realize a lot of the time is that fitness is a bumpy road. It's, you know, like the hills in Colorado or something like that, the mountains. You know, you're gonna have high points and you're gonna have low points, and to get to the end of the mountain trail, you're gonna have to hit them all. You're never going to get to the end of the trail through any easy shortcut. Stuff is always going to happen, and there's, you know, nothing you can do about it, but it's life, you know, life isn't perfect. And so yeah, I started my fitness journey basically brand new, July of last year, and then just hit a low point. But you know, now it's gonna go back up. I know it is because I'm ready for it to go back up. Already being in Laura's Facebook group and motivating other people and starting this Instagram is just really, it's what's going to keep me going. And the other day I already was talking to this girl with endometriosis, and she was explaining all these issues she had. And I told her, hey, have you ever gotten checked out for interstitial cystitis? And she was like, no, what's that? And so I was able to help her already bring awareness to something that could potentially change her whole life with the mentality and everything that she is dealing with on the daily. And you know, my Instagram, it's small. It is not huge engagement, but that's whatever, you know. If people are looking for the content on chronic illness, on how to work out while having these issues, they're gonna be able to find me. And that's really all I care about. I'm so excited to be a part of this challenge and to hopefully help change some lives the way that the transformation challenge the past 2 times has helped me. So thank you, Laura, for having me a part of your group. Thank you, Taylor and Steve, for having me a part of your group previously. And then also a major shout out to Brian Teach at Phorm for just everything you do, and you know, putting together the live feeds and all of the questions and the answers, and on the website with all of the personal connectivity. And yeah, just thank you so much, and I can't wait to see what happens in the next 8 weeks. Stay tuned. Bye. Hi everyone, my name is Taryn, and I am going to be starting the 2018 Transformation Challenge with Tay Che and Steve Dilk. And basically, I started fitness when I was just a kid. I went to gymnastics and cheerleading since sixth grade. Up until my senior year of high school, and then when I went to college, my freshman year, I did Division I rowing, and then I transferred to a school that had no sports. So I ended up taking up weightlifting because one of my best friends, his name is Ross, he actually got his personal trainer's certificate while also getting his business degree from the school that we went to. And he really encouraged me to lift weights. It was really good stress relief for being in university. And now that I'm out of university and, you know, in this full-time workforce, I've got all this time that I can give to focus on my nutrition, to focus on my workouts. You know, I've actually got time to have an 1.5 to 2 hour workout without worrying about doing anything else. And to me, that's just so lucky that I'm able to do that, that my job schedule is gonna let me do that, and it's amazing. So by joining this challenge, I am just trying to kind of get back in love with fitness, figure out how I'm going to reach my goals, and also have this wonderful community of people where I'm able to ask questions about exercises that maybe I haven't done before, or alternative exercises because this other one doesn't work for me. So a reason why
an exercise might not work for me is because I have two conditions. One is called endometriosis, and I was diagnosed in 2017 and had a laparoscopic surgery in order to, one, just diagnose that it was there, and then two, ablate some of it just to kind of help make things feel better. And then this year I was also diagnosed with interstitial cystitis, which just means that your bladder really doesn't like acidic things, and it will be mean to you if you have acidic things. Thankfully though, one of my triggers isn't coffee, so I'm still doing okay there. And I'm just still trying to figure out, what can I eat, what workouts are affecting it, all this other stuff that maybe not everyone has to think about. But I kind of think of it as a blessing because there aren't a whole lot of people in this fitness community that do have these conditions, or maybe they just don't know yet, and maybe I can help be an outlet for that. I'm not too sure. We're gonna see how maybe this video turns out, how this challenge turns out. Maybe I'll learn some stuff along the way. I'm not very good at IT stuff, so sorry if this video is shaky or anything like that.